Welcome back to another episode of Not Just Another Story. This week we've got a returning guest on the show, Katie Shutt.
Hello.
Her first episode is our third highest viewer out of all the episodes that we've done so far. So if you haven't watched it already, the link will be in the description. Make sure to go back and check out that full episode as well. So before we get into today's episode, which will be a little bit different, how have you been, Katie?
I've been good. I've changed my
Good.
hair and I've got
I was,
glasses.
I was just about to say I can see two big differences straight away. It's
Yeah,
like a different person on the screen now.
actually, I'm. No, that's so funny. No, I've got
Dark hair,
glasses and
glasses,
I've got dark hair now, so I'm just.
the sophisticated look.
It is, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
I'm like more intelligent looking. Not that
uh,
was that.
it doesn't equal that, does it not?
No.
No. Nah, that's just on opinions, man.
Yeah,
Like you're smart in your own way.
exactly.
That's the way I like to think about it for myself, anyways. So for everyone tuning in, today's going to be a very different episode to what we normally post. We did mention we were going to be dropping more episodes like this as well. So when we last spoke, we said we'll get a separate episode solely on astrology, pyramids, ancient civilization, all that rubbish.
Yeah.
So today is the day. Episode will be dropping Friday the 18th. Is it the 18th on Friday?
No.
17th.
Wrong it is though.
So it's a quick turnaround now. So it's basically we record and it goes out the same week pretty much.
Yeah.
So yeah. So kicking off everything, I've got all my notes. They're quite detailed notes this time. Normally they're not this detailed.
You're
So
gonna
if
know
you
more
find
than
it,
me, yeah.
honestly, I've done a little, not loads, I've done a little bit of research,
Oh
mainly just for
no.
questions, because I want to get your opinions on some stuff that I've got
Right,
opinions on. So, with the astrology, let's just jump straight into the thick of it.
right.
We know that it dates back thousands of years, about 600, if not more, BC. I've got the evolution here being from like Babylon, Egypt, and Greece as like the where it's kind of originated from originally. My first thing is, do you think there's a deeper cosmic connection between the stars, our personalities, and the ancient world?
Oh my god, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Right,
Aye.
so let me get into this one. So this week has been the start of a retrograde, and if you are in a certain like selection of the star signs, you will have felt this more. It's in like a reflection thing of the past. And then today is a full moon. It is the first full moon of the year. So if you're feeling emotional or like extra like touchy or sensitive, that's why. So this whole past week has literally just been a big explosion of like how astrology affects a human and a person and the emotions. It's crazy.
That would have made sense if it was yesterday, like, because I was in my feels yesterday.
Honestly, all week I've been like so sad, but I'm all right. I just kept like feeling like really emotional.
Yeah. Now, last night I was like, really, like, the masculinity in us talking now, but in me feels last night, but then I woke up today feeling completely different. Like, I
Yeah,
was a different person.
say it's not just a girl thing, is it?
It is not, no. Definitely not. So, with that being said, we know obviously ancient civilizations, they look like at the stars for guidance, stuff like that. Dates back to like Plato, stuff like that. Next thing that I don't want an answer just now, I want you to kind of sit on it, and for the audience, I want you to leave your thoughts in the comment section below as well. But just something to sit on for now for you, Katie, is do you think the ancient civilization knew something that about the universe that we've now lost over time? So don't want an answer just yet because we'll touch on obviously different bits where we can probably come back to this question later on in the episode.
Okay.
However,
However,
yeah, I'm not gonna say. I was gonna say my opinion, but then that defeats the object. So just sit on that for now, audience. let us know in the comments what your thoughts are as well. So we've discussed obviously how far back astrology goes, the star signs and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
You're a little bit more clued up in the star signs than what I am. I know the very, very basics and stuff that I've literally researched for this episode.
Yeah.
But it's something that intrigues us, and I've actually got a few books on my notes that I need to purchase once I've finished the ones that I've currently got.
Yeah.
So for me is, do you think like the star signs, astrology, all that stuff is more than just like entertainment purposes, and why do you think it survived so long, so like dating back thousands of years, to still being something that modern day society still talks about?
This is hard because I think there is a bit of a gimmick behind star signs,
Yeah,
to be honest, because everyone's like, oh, like I'm this star sign, I'm that star sign, I'm gonna go and buy a notebook with my star sign on it. Like they're making profits from the idea of people loving star signs.
yeah,
Um, there obviously is like reasonings and stuff behind it, but like how? So, say for my star sign, they can tell you exactly what my personality might be, and it's because of the way that the everything lines up in your star chart
yeah.
or neonatal chart, and everything goes into everything else. Is like the most simple way I could put it.
Right, okay.
So like my personality is derived from different things. I'm not
Right, okay.
explaining this very well.
No, I'm keeping up just about. I'm keeping up.
But also you've got three different star signs technically. You've got
Mhm.
your, so like if everyone says what's your star sign, that is your sun sign, which I don't know what yours is.
Mine,
What's your star sign?
Virgo.
Virgo. I'm a Libra. You're a
Yeah,
September baby. Early September.
yeah, and you're late September.
I'm late September.
I
um
remember.
yeah. So but you've also got your rising and your moon. So your rising
Hmm.
is how you present to the world. My rising's
Yeah,
Aquarius, so I present myself as very headstrong, very like leadership, very outgoing. Whereas really I'm a Libra and I'm so indecisive that actually like sometimes I can't pick between like what two tops I want to wear in the morning.
right, okay.
Like on the outside I'm very very Aquarius, and I know this for a fact that I'm very Aquarius from the outside until someone breaks through the barrier and actually realizes I'm a Libra through and through.
Yeah, yeah.
then
Well, like,
yeah,
I
and
was just
then
gonna
you
say, so that's like the deeper, like your Libra is like the actual you, like the
yeah
deeper kind of version of you.
yeah
Right, okay.
um and then you've got your moon sign, which is like I always say it's who you are when the lights are off, not in like a sexual way or anything, but like it's like you inside, like so like your feelings, your emotions, stuff like that. Mine's Scorpio, so I feel things very very deeply.
Mm.
um Also like it means that I'm very romantic, and that attached with a Libra is also very romantic, so it's like all of they all play into each other, and it's really interesting.
So what is it? Rising and moon.
So your sun, rising, and your moon. You can find it out if you go on to like Google,
Yeah.
type in what are my sun, rising, and moon star signs. It'll tell you to put in your date, your place of birth, and the time of your birth, as accurate as what you can remember. Well, as accurate as what you're told.
Okay, we're gonna have a little look to see what mine is. So, I'm just gonna use one of these links that come up on the top. Let's have a look. For the audience, when we're going very silent, it's because I'm doing some important research.
Important.
Very important. Oh, do you know after our last conversation as well, I got into is it pneumology or whatever it's called, and it's
Neurology.
like, I when it's all about your numbers. So
Oh
like if you're
yeah, that
born like
lost.
9/11, Yeah, now I've done this test thing, and now I keep getting emails going through to my junk email.
That's hilarious.
So star sign is Virgo. There it is. September 11th, 1990s, 98. Surprisingly, I do know my birth time.
I'm just looking. I've just pulled out my book, my zodiac book,
Fair.
just so that I can be accurate in my information that I provide.
Okay. Mine's just customizing my reading. God's sake, I want to know where I'm from.
It's so in depth. Honestly, I should probably read this little book myself. I've never actually read it before. It just sits there on my shelf.
I'll probably get proper intrigued by it all, me. So,
Yeah, it's crazy.
oh, so this is just doing my moon one. Oh, it's an audio. It's not giving us any writing. Can you hear that?
Huh?
Could you hear that or not?
No.
Oh, it must just be through the headphones. Oh, I'll put it in the description because it's not bringing up writing and it's making us listen to it all. I'll see if it sent us an email. And then we'll get back to the episode. Oh, I think I've done this one already after our conversation.
I'm sure we've had this conversation before, you know.
I know, I'm pretty sure I messaged you about it. Yeah, we'll come back to that.
Yeah.
I'm impatient. But yeah, I forgot what we were saying before I started trying to find mine now.
I don't remember.
Well, moving on, because anyways, I want to talk about the 12 zodiac signs.
Yeah.
So, I don't know if you know this, because I didn't until I was looking yesterday about it all. But obviously, they align with the constellations.
Yeah.
And obviously, you'll know this, the season changes.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess you've already kind of answered this, but I was going to ask, do you think there's a deeper meaning that, like, the signs hold, like the 12 zodiac signs hold, rather than just, obviously, just your personality traits?
Don't know. I've not delved into that before.
Okay.
But probably. But I've not actually. I've not delved into it enough to be able to give an opinion or an answer.
I mean, I think there is. I couldn't tell you what, but I just think how everything aligns and how accurate some of the stuff come back
Yeah, nothing's by
as.
accident.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I do think so. But like very much similar to you.
Yeah.
I haven't looked that much into it, not yet.
Yeah.
I've got about 10 books that I need to read before I'm even buying new ones because they just sat there in my room just in a big pile,
I do
and I've already
exactly
went
the same
through
thing.
quite a few. So
I do the same thing.
yeah, and I should do it this year because my goal is 20 books in 2025. So
That's doable. That's
I
definitely
hope
doable.
so. The books that I'm reading now are like 500 to 600 pages long, so I need just an afternoon just to chain through half of the books.
Yeah.
But I read loads when I went on holiday, so I
Keep
got
sleep
through
on
like a full book.
holiday. You'll be fine.
Yeah, just need to book loads, don't I? Next part is just kind of sticking with the astrology and the star signs at the moment, but ancient civilizations, do you think they interpreted their connection to the stars? And do you think it was more science based, religion based, or just something completely different? Because even now, obviously, astrology and all that is science based, but in regards to like personalities and stuff like that, there's nothing to scientifically back it up at the minute.
Yeah.
So what's kind of your thoughts on that? So do you think like they did interpret different how we do in modern society, like the connection with the stars, and do you think it was like scientifically based for back then, or something completely different, or religion?
I think it was like a kind of like religion, but more of a worship.
Yeah,
Um, and I don't. I think they more worshipped everything back
yeah,
then rather than religion, because religion is a concept created by people who want to gain money from the belief in something that cannot be proven.
yeah.
um, but leave that one.
Next episode.
um, but yeah, I think it was a. I think that they had a belief. So like, if you think of like the gods and goddesses,
Yes.
um, like the they believe they were like in the stars, and like there's planets named after them, and these gods and goddesses were named after the planets. Like it was one or the other. Probably the planets were named after the gods and goddesses, the famous ones. Um, but also I forgot what I was saying. What? What was I saying?
So the question was, do you think ancient civilizations interpreted their connection to the stars, and do you think it was scientific religion or just something completely different? And then you
Oh,
said kind of like religion, but obviously
yeah,
more of a worship.
yeah. No, I think it was a worship. What I was gonna say was, if I don't know if you will have watched it, but have you watched Moana?
Yeah,
So you know when her Moana and Maui are in the sea, and they're looking at the stars, and he's like, "Do this and like follow it, and you can. That's how you get to where you want to be."
yeah,
So there's always been there was possibly maybe still is a mutual respect between the stars and humans, and I think the humans used or use the stars
hmm,
in order to help them provide stuff for us.
yeah.
That makes sense.
No, definitely. And when you're on about the worship, that's like my opinions on it all as well. Because
Mhm.
if you look at if you look at kind of not religion, but if you go back to like the Viking eras and stuff like that, they didn't have a religion. They worship gods,
Yeah,
same as the Greeks, and even the Romans before Christianity.
yeah,
They had like the Roman gods, which were just the Greek gods, but like kind of a newer version. So like Zeus and Jupiter are the same person.
yeah,
So like with me with the stars, I'm very similar to you in that sense. Like I believe that that's all kind of related because it's just too much of a coincidence that you've got obviously the Greek gods, Roman gods, and then obviously the Norse gods, which are all very similar
yeah,
in how they are. So I think there's a very strong connection because I don't know the ins and outs of the Egyptian gods,
hmm,
but even Egypt had multiple kind of gods. So I do think there's a strong connection and there's more to it
yeah. Those
than what we currently know.
in Greece and stuff. Oh, there's so many,
Yeah,
so many.
100%.
It's I would like to learn about them all, but I think it would take a very, very long time.
Yeah.
Um,
Like, I'm fascinated with the Greek gods. So, the books that I'm reading at the minute, it's the Gods of Olympus.
yeah,
So, it's like the follow on series to the Percy Jackson books.
right,
So, I'm learning who the gods are through them books.
yeah.
But I
And
want to
it's
learn.
good though to do it like that, because it keeps you like, instead of just reading like a fact book, like this was
Yeah.
this god, this is what they did. You're never going to
Yeah.
remember that. Whereas if you're reading a full storybook and you're like, wow, this god went on this fantastic journey and was like doing this and that, and like that, and that's when you know exactly what they actually do.
Oh, 100%. And to be fair, at the back of every book, it gives you a breakdown of all the different gods as well.
Oh, it's even better.
Yeah, so when I finish the books, I don't read like everything, but I can kind of scan through to like some of the gods that they've mentioned, so I can say like what it was.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't realize how many there actually were until I started reading them. But
So many.
I definitely think that there's a would have interpreted totally different to how we currently do, just because of the beliefs and obviously the gods and stuff like that.
Yeah,
So and that leads me on to kind of the next part. So my next like kind of segment, I wanted to touch on ancient civilizations.
Hmm.
So with the stars and the gods and stuff like that, I think the way they worship, there's definitely more to it because, in my opinion, it's like they were obsessed with them and then they kind of aligned everything they'd done to the stars, which we'll touch on in a little bit as well.
Yeah.
So, why do you think so many ancient civilizations were obsessed with the stars? Do you think it's just kind of from what we've just previously stated, like the gods, or do you think there's more to it than that? Hard question, I
So
know.
from what, like, so personally for me, when I look at the stars, I'm like, wow, that's magical,
Yeah.
and it's so fascinating.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe it was literally something as so simple as a fascination or looking up to the sky and thinking, wow, what is this? Like, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Literally, it could have been something so simple as that, because what we rarely actually see the stars unless it's a very, very clear night and
Mm-hmm.
you're in an area with no pollution from the light.
Yeah.
Whereas back in ancient civilizations, the second it gets dark, you're going to start seeing the whole sky just lit up with all of these amazing stars and asteroids
Yeah.
flying past and stuff. So like, it's understandable to see why they would use something else,
Yeah.
because they don't just have to use stuff that's actually on this earth. They can use other stuff. Like, we
Yeah.
don't just use stuff in our, like, what's the word that I'm looking for?
Proximity.
Proximity. We use stuff from, I don't know, over in America, because we can
Mm-hmm.
Google and find it out.
Yeah.
So I think it could be something like literally as simple as that.
Yeah, no, definitely because they were used for like direction, all that stuff as well. So we touched on it slightly on our last episode. Like even the Great Pyramids of like Egypt, the Great Pyramid of Giza, it they literally fall perfectly
Yeah,
under Orion's belt. Like there's no way. This is why I think there's a lot more that we don't know that they did know because even now to get it that spot on, I think
we would.
with modern day technology, yeah, it's like near enough impossible.
Uh-huh.
So like that's even building them as well, like all the interior, the height, the weight of everything. Even now with our technology, I still think we would struggle
Oh,
to
it
build
would
the
take a long
pyramids.
time.
And yeah, that's why I do think that the I think it's definitely we'll touch on it, but like definitely outer world beings has either helped, and I'm a massive believer of Atlantis,
Uh-huh.
and I think that there's a lost
Oh,
civilization.
you need to watch this. Oh my god, I need to find it for you. There's a documentary about Atlantis and like the lost civilizations of Earth. Oh, it's amazing. I'm gonna have. I think it might be on Netflix, but it also could be on Disney. I'm gonna have to find it and send you the link to it. It's so fucking good.
Yeah, you're gonna have to. I've got both, so
Oh,
I'll watch
honestly,
both.
like, you'll watch it and your mind will just be blown. It's crazy.
Honestly, I love it, and I'm a massive believer of it because, like, I don't know if you've seen it, but how like the pyramids were meant to be like more than just kind of temples. It's like where they got the energy from and stuff like that. It's like
Mhm.
there's definitely something that's been lost from when they were around. Like I think there's been this highly advanced like race on the earth, and then whatever like whatever's happened, like comets,
Mhm.
floods, whatever, has
Mhm.
totally
Like,
wiped
oh,
out their
yeah.
civilization, and they've had to start again.
Mhm.
That's my honest like opinion. It's
Oh,
out there, it's massively out there, but just the way the pyramids are built, cause it's not just that you've got the what's the one that's
the
in
Sphinx.
Peru? Well, you've
Oh,
got the Sphinx as well, but then you've got is it Machu Picchu? Is it that one? I can't remember now, but it's the one that's in like Southern America,
uh-huh.
like where the Mayans and everything were.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm pretty sure that's under like one of the stars as well, like
It's
perfectly
completely.
aligned.
It's in the same alignment as the ones in Egypt,
Yeah, that's
and
it.
there's one in Antarctica as well, but we don't know about that one yet. It's not
Yeah,
Google Maps. Google
yeah.
Instagram.
I've read about that as well because I've read all the theories about this a totally different civilization in Antarctica beyond the wall as well. So
Uh-huh. Oh,
I'll watch.
it's
Yeah, I'll watch all of that. Don't you worry. That's a whole different episode about my theories on that. But
just
yeah.
end up being a full conspiracy theory episode.
Oh, honestly, I could be here for about 3 hours doing conspiracy episodes.
Me too. Me too.
So, episode 3, there we go. That'll be in another 10 episodes. But not just that, you've got like the Mayan calendar as well. They've done everything off the stars.
Yeah.
And obviously, if it was down to them, we wouldn't be here because that ended in 2012. But they just
Yeah.
basically doing the calendar so well up until that point, though, solely off like the cosmics,
Yeah.
like the stars, like that for that time period is amazing. Like that's pretty much where the calendars came from, really.
Uh-huh. But
So
also, time is a concept created by man.
very
Time
true,
doesn't exist. It's just
very true.
that'll
Apart from
make
night
me
and
feel
day,
weird because that makes me feel weird anytime I think about it.
it's mad, isn't it? Because that's
If we're
we
both,
literally.
the thing about time is it makes us feel really uncomfortable. It's like when someone says, "Oh my god, imagine if like this is all just a dream." I hate it. I hate it. Makes us feel physically like unwell.
Mm, no, well, because when you deep it on a
Yeah, no,
on a
it like
serious
makes you
level,
worry, doesn't it?
uh-huh,
Like you actually
it's
feel anxiety.
yeah. And well, I was thinking like back in like not even ancient civilization, but like say back into like the Viking eras and stuff
Uh-huh.
like that. You've got like I sit and think they wouldn't have had like 12 like not I don't think any of this they wouldn't have had like 12 o'clock 4 o'clock they probably had morning afternoon
Well,
evening
a lot of them used sundials, didn't they?
exactly so
So,
they kind of knew like afternoon was when it was like that straight point
uh-huh.
so I'm thinking like they would have just went to sleep when it's dark woke up when it's in the morning and that's where the um what's the thing when the clocks go back that's where that all comes from isn't it about the
No,
earlier
that's
mornings
something
and
to do
that
with the farmers. Daylight saving
yeah.
hours or something to do with the farmers so that they can have an extra hour of daylight. But I really, it doesn't.
Yeah, but it's like the sun going down and coming up and stuff like that. So
Yeah,
like we do our work days now solely on that, where we would probably be so much more productive if we didn't have a concept of time and we just knew we had daylight to get everything we needed done.
literally. Imagine how amazing it would be in the winter.
Oh, your work days would be tiny.
That would be unreal.
I'd be working like 3 hours a day.
Literally until you got to the summer and then you'd be cursing everything. And it's
Aye,
gone.
you'd be catching up, wouldn't you?
Uh-huh. That's so.
Um, Jumping back on the stars and everything. So we've mentioned obviously why we think that we're so obsessed with the stars. One thing I just wanted to touch on it, like doesn't touch on this, but it fascinated us when I read about it. It's I think they're called the Dogon tribe, which were in Africa.
Yeah.
So no technology, like real technology, anyways. But they knew about Sirius B, which is a star,
Mhm.
and it's invisible to the human eye, and they knew about that before like modern day telescopes.
Okay. You're gonna have
So
to.
that
I haven't heard of this before, so you're gonna have to explain. You've
so
acknowledged this.
so I don't know a lot of it. I was literally reading about it last night,
Uh-huh.
and essentially there's this star. I don't know if it's in our solar system or not, but to the human eye, it's not visible.
What's it
And
called?
even
I'm gonna give it a Google.
Sirius B, so it's SIRIUS. I've got my contacts in, so I'm struggling to read here.
Okay.
So this tribe apparently knew about this star before modern day telescope was made,
Right.
but it's not visible to the human eye. So for them just solely to know that, it's
Yeah,
that sort of stuff fascinates me because obviously that's like
that
I
is.
think that's quite recent history as well. But with them not having the technology, it's like how on earth did you know about it if you can't physically see it?
Yeah. I'm just looking here. It says to view it. To view it, you've got to use a large telescope with high magnification, and there's two stars, but they orbit each other every 50.1 years.
That's mad.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So, like,
Then this little tribe in Africa knew
just
about
know about
this.
it.
Yeah.
It was
And
discovered in 1862.
yeah, so it's quite recent, like, histories in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah.
So when I read that, I was like, there's definitely got to be other stuff out there if this tribe from Africa knew about it. And I was like reading about like the different tribes, and we were saying like alien, and like it was a documentary. I'll see if I can find it for you. But like they went to this tribe in Africa, and they were like saying alien, and they didn't know what it was. So they got a picture of like what a generic alien would look like,
Uh-huh.
and then they had another totally other word, but they were just saying it like it was the norm, like normal.
Yeah.
And they were just like saying it normally. We were like, and the people who were there were like, what? Like starting to get a bit scared because to them it was just like another normal
Of
thing,
course,
something they worshipped. Yeah.
it's
So
aliens.
so I'll see if I can find that, but I think all that sort of stuff, and when we come to the ancient civilizations, I think that's another reason why they're obsessed with the stars.
Yeah.
I think something originally has came from the stars, and that's why they
Uh-huh.
started worshipping these gods.
It will have been an exchange sort of thing.
Yeah, 100%. Because
Yeah.
even the different pyramids and everything like that, they've all got very similar etchings and on like totally completely different sides of the world.
Yeah.
So it's like,
They didn't have planes back then. They might have had
nah,
cars, but they couldn't have went that far.
not that quick, anyways. And it's like, I say this about dragons. I think dragons were real.
Yeah.
I don't think they were dragons. I think they were dinosaurs.
Oh, like
I don't.
what, like fire breathing dinosaurs?
Well, maybe it's not fire breathing, but like, do you know, like flying dinosaurs?
Oh, yeah, of course.
And I think they weren't fully extinct, like with the Big Bang.
Uh-huh.
And I think like knights and everything like that did have to actually kill them, and that's what made them go extinct. Because
That's
if
really
you look at,
interesting.
because if you look at like different cultures, there's always somebody who's slayed a dragon. Like, look, this is what changed my mind on it is, if you look at the Chinese animals,
Uh-huh.
every animal is a real animal in the Chinese calendar,
Yeah.
other than one, which is a dragon.
I was the year of the dragon.
Yeah, so I was tiger.
Oh.
So that's when I started looking into it a little bit. I was like, every culture,
That's a very, very good point, actually.
because how can the Chinese have like pictures of dragons when they all look exactly the same and they're like all like like the transcripts and everything like that? And
Yeah.
then we've got King George who slayed a dragon as well, and then I'm pretty sure there's ones in Africa, and like there's definitely some from Southern America as well.
Yeah.
So I think there's just been a dinosaur and they haven't fully been extinct,
Mhm.
and then humans have made them go extinct essentially.
Yeah. That's
And
very
that's my bold claim of tonight.
That's very interesting. I've never actually have had a thought about dragons. It's never crossed my mind. But if you ask us about fairy tales and fairy tales, fairies and giants and ogres and stuff like
Giants
that,
are real.
yeah, I would be like, hell yeah. So I don't know why I've never thought about
Yeah.
a dragon before.
Mermaids as well.
Oh, mermaids are definitely
Yeah, man. Uh, next part is just. Oh, yeah, so this kind of links in with kind of what we were saying about like the ancient civilizations and the building. So, do you think the ancient people, like the ancient civilizations, knew more about the cosmos than we give them credit for, and what we can currently comprehend as well?
yeah,
Yeah. I
way
mean, that kind of just fills in with what we've just been talking
yeah.
about as well.
Like I truly believe that there was an exchange between the stars, people coming from the stars, and people on Earth because, well, why not? I just think it's a mad concept, and I actually think it's legit. I don't really have much reason behind it,
Hmm.
but if aliens can exist today, then why can't they have existed back then to provide everyone with the sort of knowledge that they needed to have? Like,
Yeah.
how would they have known to build this massive giant uh, pyramid in the right place and then to have it coated on the outside in a reflective sort of material, and then have it directly at the point, so pointy at the top. It's a perfect like signal for energy to go up and down from. It's
Yeah.
it's wild.
It's amazing, isn't it?
It's honestly, it's so interesting. I would love to go to Egypt and actually like see it all, because I just think, oh, I think it'll be amazing. I think you'd be able to feel the energy straight away.
Yeah. Our Seven Wonders of the World is on my bucket list. Like,
Yeah. Yeah,
totally different.
apparently, this is a little interjection. So, you know the Sphinx in Egypt?
Mhm.
Apparently, you look at the Sphinx and then you turn around, there's a KFC.
Oh yeah, I
That,
knew that.
that's an abomination.
Yeah, there's like a whole city just facing the pyramid. It's like it's nuts.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So when you see all these beautiful photos and everything on
It's
the other
not
side of the
actually like
camera,
that. Yeah, they're doing it the other way around.
yeah, it's like a bustling little city behind it and stuff like that. It's ridiculous.
Crazy.
Yeah, it's nuts. Um, but yeah, I think Egypt's definitely on my list, and I don't know why I just love Southern America. Like I just think some of the ancient temples over there and the Mayan pyramids and stuff like that are just
Did you
they're even more fascinating.
Did you know that if you have an intense like an intense feeling or a need to go and travel somewhere,
Hmm.
it's a possibility that you could have lived there in a previous life. That your
Really?
soul could have been there. Yeah, so I truly, truly believe, because I've been obsessed with Egypt for the longest time. I remember when I was a kid, I had these little history books. Now
Yeah.
I'm not a nerd by like like if I want to learn something, I'll learn about it and then I'll drop it. Like I'm not gonna like
Yeah.
absolutely obsess with anything. But from the time when I can actually remember going through these books, I must have been like 3 or 4.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've been obsessed with Egypt. So
Yeah.
I truly believe that I was in Egypt in a past life. 100%.
That's weird that you've said that because I've been the same with like the Mayan temples. So
Yeah. So I've
since
never in my life have I had any sort of
yeah,
reason or wanting to go there. But Egypt, I'm like, I really want to go.
yeah, it's like with them, I started reading about them when I was like, I think 10 or something like that. So I think I was in like 2009 ish, 2000 and around that time.
Yeah.
And then that's how I knew about 2012 and stuff like that. So I was telling everyone the world was going to end when I was in like year six in
That was
2012.
terrifying, by the way, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, I was in science when we were meant to end, so like I was just staring out the window, and like I can always remember my science teacher going, "Callum," and I just didn't listen. And then my mate hit us on the arm. I went, "What?" And then he went pointed out the teacher, and the teacher was like, "Are you with her today?" I went, "Well, we're not going to be here in like 10 minutes, so I'm just staying
Yeah, but
outside."
do you remember that the sky actually did
It
go?
went black, didn't it?
Yeah, it was
Yeah, yeah.
wild, crazy. I remember being picked up from school, and my mum, I was in the car with my mum and my sisters in the back,
Mhm.
and I remember looking out this window. I'm like, Mum,
Yeah,
the world's gonna end today. You know, she said, No, it's not. No, it's not. I'm like, I promise you it is. And then she was like, Well, no, it was meant to end when the millennium turned. And I was like, Well, it's definitely ending today.
yeah. I remember it going pitch black because when it went pitch black, I was still in the lesson. I went, Miss, I told you, and then
And
nothing
if
happened.
that actually happened though, like that's a very weird coincidence.
Because it changed really quick as well. I always remember it going from not bright, bright, but like just suddenly it was like pitch black.
Imagine if we
Proper,
all
proper.
actually died, and then this is now just a really weird dream, or like we're on like a different reality or something.
Yeah, I've always been convinced that like what we see as a reality isn't actually our real reality. So like, do you know when people take acid and like that sort of
Oh
drug?
yeah, like city cyber and like medical,
Yeah,
yeah, trips.
yeah, or like when they go like to Africa or like South America and they do all these drugs and go into the tents and that,
Yeah,
and they see like these hallucinations. I'm not fully believing of it, but I'm like in 6 and 2 3s that like that's what the world actually looks like, and we just see this like
you can.
what we
So
want to see.
I am not speaking from personal experience, but I've had friends recount experiences of theirs, and you can see the aura. So basically, what it's meant to do is it's meant to open you up. It like
Yeah,
lowers your inhibitions and opens you up.
yeah,
So, um, how do I explain this? So like it makes you more susceptible to energy, is what it
Mm,
does. So, like, you might be able to see like a glow around the tree, or like you might see a glow around the person. Like you might actually see that person's aura.
yeah,
Whereas in real life, you can't, because you've got to learn how to actually build that up and to
yeah, yeah,
do that yourself, and it's very difficult. Some people can do it very naturally. You kind of get like some sort of feeling sometimes, but like, yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't recommend doing drugs like that to try
no, no,
it,
definitely
yeah,
not.
because you can't do it naturally. Um, and there's actually no guarantee. Like what you see, like that's your own interpretation.
Yeah,
Because not everyone's trip's the same. And you might
no, definitely not.
have a bad trip. So I've also had, I don't know why we're talking about this. So depending on your frame of mind, your trip can be either really, really good or really, really bad. So you can trip up or you can trip down. And you
Yeah,
don't want to trip down, because if you trip down, like, I don't know if you believe in the concept of heaven and hell, but you go somewhere where there's very, very low vibrations, and apparently it's not very nice at all. It's like really scary.
yeah.
Um, and you can actually get trapped there. So
Oh God,
yeah, it's
that maybe is what's happened to us, and we're just stuck here.
oh, don't say that.
Uh, nah, but I definitely believe in like that sort of stuff. Maybe it's not heaven and hell as such, but I think there's an up or down in a sense.
Yeah,
Yeah. But more like the old gods, the way they kind of do it,
yeah.
rather than just like heaven and then a fire pit of hell
No, I
type
think
of
we're
thing.
we're definitely reincarnated. Have you ever seen the movie Soul on Disney?
I haven't, you know.
You need to watch it. It's such a beautiful movie, and it's basically this guy trips over, and I think he goes into a coma. But when he trips over and goes into a coma, his soul gets released from his body, and it gets taken up where all the souls go. And it shows you on the stairways up to the place where the souls go, and like he, I don't know how to explain it, but it's like it shows where all the souls go and what they were beforehand and what they're doing now and what their sort of like purpose was. And then
Yeah,
when it's time for their soul to come back down to earth, it gets released into this new person or being, or animal. And
yeah,
it's really interesting. And Disney movies like that, they're not just thought of as actual.
yeah,
Media is very good at showing us stuff right in front of our faces, but making us
yeah,
believe
yeah.
that it's not true and that's just a fiction of the imagination, basically.
No, I agree. Cause I think I like touched on it as like a snide remark earlier, but I definitely think that there's things that people in power know about that
Yeah.
general public do not have a clue about.
Well, the thing is, they show us all of it, because there's this thing of like they can't not tell us very important information.
Mm-hmm.
So they do show us, but they don't say it outright, but they'll like put it in like dribs and drabs and stuff.
Yeah,
Um, sorry, I'm putting my thing on do not disturb.
no, it's all good. Mine went off before.
Um, so yeah, it's all very interesting.
No, it is definitely. I'm just looking at the next assignment where we were you on about like the Disney movie there,
Yeah.
and I think we've touched on it to be fair because it's literally the pyramids and celestial alignments, and obviously there's a load of different ones. So we've touched on the Great Pyramids in the Orion Belt and the North Star.
Mhm.
I'm not even going to try pronouncing this, but I think this is what I was trying to get. But it's Teotihuacan. I'm not going to try pronouncing that. I'm not going to make that much of a tit of myself. But that alignment is apparently like perfect with Pleiades star cluster as well.
Right.
So that was really interesting looking at that. But I'm not 100% sure whereabouts geography that is.
Shall I tell you something else about alignment? There's actually something to
Yes.
say. I can't remember the name of what it is, but it's basically like electrical currents under the ground. not man-made, sorry, like from the earth, and they line up perfectly. So Hadrian's Wall is actually part of it,
Mm-hmm.
and then the Stonehenges, and there's
Yeah.
like different places throughout the UK, and they're on these sort of like, it's not a tripwire, but that's the word that's come to my head, and it's like they're on them sort of lines, like
Mm-hmm.
geomagnetic kind of lines, and that's where the energy's taken
Yeah.
to, because they're like, yeah.
I've got that noted down literally
Have
just
you
underneath
actually?
that. Yeah.
Well, there we go.
So how it, like the ancient civilizations kind of saw these like landmarks that we call them now as like spiritual portals and like
Yeah.
energy clusters. So I've literally got that wrote down as well because I was looking at a documentary today. I was watching it while I was at work, and they mentioned a book that somebody wrote called The Cosmic Origins.
I've heard
And
that before.
I was just about to say it might be something that you might be into because I know you're into the spirituality and that.
Yeah.
But basically, it's a concept of like the ancient pyramids in Atlantis,
Yeah.
kind of being from these people who come from the fifth dimension
So good. Hang on.
and then come through to like our world basically, and like that's how they got all the like advanced technology and stuff like that as well.
I'm going on Amazon to order this book. What's it called? Cosmic Origins.
Cosmic Origins, yeah.
Well,
I literally put it in my notes to remember it because I want to read it, and I knew would probably mention it in today's episode as well.
ooh.
But yeah, it's apparently like because it was only mentioned on the documentary, so I've not read like the blurb or anything like that to see what it's actually about.
Yeah.
But what they were saying it was about on there is like how the author kind of forced these people who come from the fifth dimension in our
Yeah.
world, and
So,
yeah,
well, so you've got like Palladians and star seeds,
that's them. Yeah.
and oh, who else is it? I can't think. Hang on, I've got it in a little It's a good job I sat on the floor. Actually, I've got everything right next to us. So you've got your it's in this book. I'm sure it tells you your light workers, Palladians, Min, Hakan, Lemura, and Akasha. So I don't know if you've heard of Akasha. So
Honestly,
there's this
no.
concept called the Akashic Records, and I'm going to say it's a concept because not everyone believes in this.
Okay.
But this is basically the it's your soul. So you can access your Akashic records through meditation, but it's deep meditation. Like you've got to really like commit yourself to meditating in this, like to get here. Um, and you can go and you can see all of your past lives. You can see how you died. You can find out what's going to happen in 5 years from now if you really wanted to. You can see where you lived. So, like, obviously, our souls are genderless.
Mm.
So, because we're all masculine and feminine inside, we've got a divine masculine and a divine feminine inside of us, but who we are is who we are born into and who we choose to present ourselves as.
Yeah.
Um, so, like, in previous lives, you could have been a female, or I could have been a male, or
Yeah.
I could have presented as a female, but I actually might have felt a male, but never able to do that because back in like the 1500s, that was like the worst thing that you could possibly ever do. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? So like you can access all of these different things and you can take knowledge from it. So past life you might know something that you right now want to know or need help with.
Mm-hmm.
So like I might be like, oh my god, I'm in this really, really awful situation. What can I do to make it better? Or is there some way that I can resolve it? And like say if I wanted to meditate and go into a past life and ask a past version of me,
Mm-hmm.
then they might be able to show me a scenario where they were in a similar situation and what
Yeah.
we did, and if we did the wrong thing, what we learned from that, because the soul's journey is about becoming better within ourselves and learning
Yeah.
the lessons along the way. And
Right.
it's so very interesting.
I'm gonna look at that. I mean, I think I've just kind of been determined to continue with meditating now. We were just on about before the episode went live.
Yeah,
I've just started trying to meditate and I can't do it because I can't sit still. So
there's so much, honestly. Like you can meet like your higher self. You
yeah, stuff like that will definitely make us want to do it because I've
can,
always wanted to see. Well, even in this life, I want to see where I originate from, anyways. So I want to do that ancestry stuff.
yeah. Well, you can
Um,
do. I would recommend doing past life regression.
yeah,
But don't send a tube of your spit to the government because they've got it forever.
very true.
Just do a past life regression. Apparently, I used to be a goat farmer up in
Oh, nice.
up in Switzerland, and I died because I fell off the cliff, which makes sense because I've got an absolute deadly fear of falling off the cliff and dying.
Nuts.
Yeah, um, but you can you can meet like your higher self and your spirit team. You can meet people who have passed as well. So like
That's
they could
mental.
come to you. So you could just go to a meditation and be like, right, okay, show me or tell me what I need to know.
Yeah,
And like, I don't know, like someone who passed could be there and could be showing you or could kind of give you a hug or, like give you some sort of reassurance.
yeah.
It's a crazy, crazy experience.
It's not that you mentioned that, because I'm a strong believer that, like, not all dreams, obviously, but some dreams that you have when they're so, like, specific
Yeah.
are either dreams that you're going to encounter
Hmm.
or dreams that you've, like, lived in the past.
Yeah.
And when I was little, this is no word of a lie, and people who are listening are going to think I'm absolutely nuts here, by the way. But I used to have the same dream every few months, right? Where I was in a cage,
Uh-huh.
right? Being dropped in a pit of fire.
Stop that.
Swear down, every
I
few
had a
months when I
very
was
similar
little.
dream.
Yeah, and before that, like, I'll be running, but obviously when you try running in a
Yeah,
dream,
you
you
don't
can't
move
move,
anywhere.
can you?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and then I always remember it goes from that to being in the cage and then being dropped down, and I used to have that dream like every 3 or 4 months.
Bloody hell.
And then I used to wake up, obviously sweating as well. So like it felt like I was actually there.
Uh-huh.
My bed used to be soaking off like sweat dripping off as when I was like between 6 and 8 at the time or something like that.
It's very funny that you say that because I don't know if you've ever seen them videos of the like really young kids being like, oh, I used to do
I
this,
died there.
live here, or like I've been here before, or they'll start doing like funny accent, or like my younger sister was like, oh, I used to live there. My other family lives in that house. Every single
Hmm.
time, the house was nowhere near where we
Yeah,
lived. And any time that we drove past it, she always used to say, my other family live in that house. That's where my other mum and dad live.
yeah.
And we're like, whoa, what the hell?
Have you seen the one when it's a little boy in the back of the car and his mom's driving somewhere and then he crosses this bridge
Uh-huh.
and then he goes, "Me and my sister died here," and he
Oh,
doesn't have his sister, and his mom just stops and like looks at him, and she's like, "What?" And then he says it again, and then she goes and does like research and that. I seen it on TikTok,
uh-huh.
and there was actually like 10 years like earlier, a little boy and a girl died, and the parents survived this car crash thing on
No.
that bridge. Yeah, and apparently like he got everything like spot on, like the rain and the color of the car, everything like that they were in.
Oh my god. That's freaky, isn't it?
Yeah, but that's
Like,
I'm a strong believer that we've all been here before.
yeah, like when when stuff like that happens, I actually don't know how you can deny it because what the hell?
Yeah, 100%.
Um, but we obviously like when we're younger, we remember stuff from previous lives better. But as we
Mhm.
grow up, sorry, let us before we go to that bit. When we're younger, we're more like open to other stuff. So like you might see a baby like looking and smiling at nothing, but actually the baby might see an angel or the grandma stood there, or like maybe a parent who had died, like they'll see that, or like they'll sit and have conversations like with nothing.
You know how you're saying that? I'm just sorry to jump in.
Uh-huh.
Is you're on about that when I used to live in like the first house when I used to live with my mum in Persimmon.
Yeah.
I used to sit on the end of my bed and speak to an old woman. Well, when I was in bed, I used to speak
Oh,
to an old woman who used to sit on the end of the bed.
oh, was she creepy
And
looking?
hmm?
Was she creepy looking?
No, so apparently I can vaguely remember it now, but I can't really remember what she looked like. But I told everyone about it, like, because my mom came into my room and she was like, "Who are you talking to?" I was like, "Oh, the woman on the end of the bed, nobody there." And then I used to do it like it was like not every night, but like
Often enough.
quite
Yeah.
quite often, yeah. And then apparently, when I told me grandma about it, I just like what she looked like. I described me grandma's mom
No
like
way.
to a T,
Wow.
yeah. So me grandma's like she always gets her reading done and everything like that, and she believes in like guardian angels and all that.
Uh-huh.
And when I told me grandma about that, and just with you saying like when you're younger you're open, like your mind's more open and they can
Really
see
are.
stuff. I strongly believe that just off that. And then obviously when I'm that young, I'm not gonna know what my grandma's mom looked like. Like I never met the woman.
Uh-huh.
Like I never actually ever met her. So there's
Yeah.
no way for me to be like, oh, like lie about it.
Uh-huh.
And apparently I described my grandma when she picked us up from my mum's to take us to my dad's. Apparently I described the woman to a T in the car to my grandma because I just remember my grandma pulling over and she was sat there for about 10 minutes
Thinking,
because
what the hell?
she couldn't drive. She was like in shock.
Oh, bless her.
And she like ever since that day, my grandma always tells us like my guardian angel is her mom because of that.
Oh, I bet she loves that though, you know. I bet she
Yeah,
absolutely loves it.
probably. But just when you mentioned it there, that's why like I started laughing because to this day I still remember talking to someone. Can't really remember what obviously they look like now, but apparently when I was younger, when I described like my great grandma's like to a T.
That's so interesting.
Yeah,
You know she'll still
yeah.
be there though if she is your guardian angel.
Probably I want to get like a proper reading done by like somebody who's like got like good reviews and that. But I don't know anybody from around here.
I'll send you a number.
Okay. I've always wanted to get one done. I've never had any reading done at all, but
Well, you can
apparently
do
there's some
two
good
different
ones.
types. So you can do like a tarot card reading or like a psychic reading.
Yeah, I want to do both. To be fair, I want to see what the
Yeah.
both say.
The honestly, like so every single time I've had one done by I'm gonna say she's called Patrice. She's my
Right.
friend, but also she's absolutely amazing because you don't tell your friends everything, do you?
Yeah.
So every single time I've had one done, things have happened. Like everything has happened. What she said
Right.
was going to happen, and it's like you can't predict the like you can't tell me what I'm going to have happen like 5 weeks from now, but she
Mm.
can. Like she knows, and she knows the details about it, and it's honestly like I write everything down after my readings
Mm-hmm.
so that I know that I can go back to it, and
Yeah.
it's every single time. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's so
Pass
good.
me that
I love
information
it.
on.
It's so good,
Is
honestly.
she a tarot reader or
She does
like psychic?
she does tarot and psychic.
Oh, perfect.
She's honestly she's so good. I'll send you
I'll get like the death card or something. You know me, and I was
Death
like, we
Card's
might
a
look.
good card.
Is it?
Yeah, it means like rebirth. Like it's like
Okay.
the start of like the end of an old cycle and the start of a new one. It's a good
Oh,
card.
hopefully that'll be me because I've been so locked in at the minute. Like I think we spoke about it briefly the other day.
Uh-huh.
Like I've literally just before like the last couple of weeks, I was locked in with the pod and everything. But with my productivity over the last 2 or 3 weeks, like especially since the turn of the year,
Uh-huh.
like I've never been so zoned in my life, and I think like this, I don't know. There's like an energy about us at the minute that
Oh,
I feel
actually,
like
hang on. This goes back to astrology. Let me tell.
yes, come on,
So this year is a number 9. Yeah. So like the numbers add up to a number 9. So you've got
okay,
2, 2, and 5.
yeah,
So number 9 is like the completion of karmic cycles and the completion of a cycle.
right,
And then you go back to number 1. So number 1's new beginnings, new starts, new journeys. like fresh everything. So right now, this is our number 9 year. So we're tying things up, getting everything ready for when that number 1 year comes back around next year. It'll
Yeah,
be so good, honestly. So good. I think this year is going to be amazing, but I think next year is going to be even better.
yeah, fair. How's next year number one? The one that add up to 0, don't they? 2, 2, and 6. Is 0 not one?
No, so it'll be no. So it'll be a number 1 again, and then
Okay.
when it goes to the year after, it'll be, I don't know. Anyway, this year's a 9 year.
Okay.
I'm getting confused.
Oh, I've confused you. Sorry, but no, that's it. Very interesting to say because literally since the turn of the year, I've. It sounds weird, but I felt like I'm totally different. Like energy, like
Yeah,
a lot more. Like I'm always quite confident, but I've been like a lot more confident in what I'm saying and like the actions I'm taking.
yeah,
And then like even outside like the other kind of project I'm working on, like what I've got targets for quarter 3,
uh-huh.
I'm nearly finished the full quarter targets that I set myself.
That's so good.
So yeah, I've got very high hopes for
It's gonna be a
2025.
good year. Honestly, it's gonna
It
be
is.
so good.
I think that's what we were talking about the other day because I think you put something on your story and I was like, that's how I'm feeling at the minute.
Yeah, I can't remember what it was. Oh, was
It
it
was
exhausted, drained, and something else, wasn't it?
yeah, it was something about working. Yeah, it was
Yeah,
something like that. But yeah,
it just feels like it's going to explode at any second. That's
no,
how my
definitely.
life's going.
Nah, agreed. But it's weird because this was like meant to be like about astrology and stuff like that, but the spirituality of everything kind of links in with it all as well. I think like
I think it does.
100%.
Yeah, I mean,
And like
you could technically separate it out.
yeah,
Um, like you could be like fully into your into your astrology and numerology and like, stuff like that. But also, you would maybe be a bit naive to not think that it doesn't all link in with each other.
yeah. No, I agree, especially because obviously we're one about Stonehenge and everything like that.
Uh huh.
Like we mentioned it, but I honestly think them the pyramids like Stonehenge and stuff like that were all built to kind of harness like the cosmic energy.
Yeah.
So I'm a massive believer of that as well.
Also, portals for other beings to enter
Yeah,
Earth.
from the fifth dimension.
Yes.
No, I agree, 100%.
So
So
interesting.
I'm just glad there's somebody else who's as nuts as me. To be fair, so
Oh, honestly, like me and my friends, like the conversations we have, you'd be like, "What?"
yeah, honestly, not. Oh, I had this conversation with like me mate, and he just kind of looked at us and he was like, "I would love to see you like on something." And I went, "What do you mean?" And he went, "Cause have you seen what you're saying now and you've not took anything?" And he was like, "If you went to one of these like tents or something like that and like went on one of these like mad trips," he was like, "you probably see something ridiculous." And he was like, "Cause your mind's just so open as it is." And I was like,
Yeah,
"Yeah, that's probably why I wouldn't do it."
yeah. No, I wouldn't recommend. I would probably try it myself if I'm being completely honest. Like
I would want to do it, but I'd be scared.
if I went to Bali, or like if I went and like stayed with a tribe. Well, one of my dreams in my life, it's on my bucket list, is to go and live with a tribe for a week. I don't know
Yes.
how I'm gonna do it, but I really want to go and sit with, like the American tribes, and like the so spiritual and the
Mm.
like think like Pocahontas. I know it's obviously not like Pocahontas, but like they appreciate the earth and
Hmm.
like they're so like spiritual and like and I would just absolutely love like to sit with them
Yeah.
and just to if the offer is to take like I don't know some
Herbs.
poison from a snake or something, I'd be like, yeah.
You would have to. It's culture.
Yeah, that's what I mean. And you know that they you could trust them because they do it.
Yeah.
So you could do it.
Yeah.
Honestly.
That's what I mean when I'm on about the trips and that. Like, I wouldn't do something that you could get here. Like, if I'd done anything, it would have to be like something where they do it like
Apparently,
in their culture.
apparently, you can get not bit. You can get frogs poison in like not injected, but like on your skin or like you take it or something. It's put in your body in some sort of way, and it like expels all of the like toxins and stuff in your body. And I don't know if you've seen these videos of when people go to Bali and like they're sitting and they're breathing, and then the next minute they're throwing up.
Nah.
No. So I always thought it was because of the way that they were breathing that it was making them throw up. But actually they were breathing after they'd taken this like toxin that helps remove all of the toxins from your body. And apparently like you vomit for like quite a few days. Like apparently it's really brutal. But it gets rid of all the toxins in your body, like all of the like we'll get this is something completely different, but like the foods that will get given
Yeah.
absolutely jam packed full of chemicals and
Yeah, of
toxins and
course.
stuff. So like it literally will help remove stuff like that from your body. I don't know the science behind it. I don't know if it actually does work or if it just makes you vomit, but
Yeah.
that's something that you could try. I
Po-
guess.
podcast trip to Bali.
Oh my god. With one of the spiritual centers.
Live stream the podcast episode as we're
Oh,
doing licking frogs.
Jesus Christ. I think that will get banned.
Probably.
Oh my god.
So, just trying to get back on track there then.
Sorry, I've completely steered off.
No, I've really enjoyed it. Like, I was expecting it, if I'm being honest, because there was no way I could talk about this sort of stuff and not go on massive tangents.
Yeah,
Yeah, like, there's still loads of stuff that's racking through my brains, which, like, I'm trying to just kind of put to one side because I could be here all night talking about this stuff.
literally.
Um, my next thing is obviously cosmic theories and like the modern implications of them as well.
Yeah.
So it's a bit more kind of no real evidence or speculative. So do you think that ancient civilizations did have contact from beings from other worlds, which obviously we've answered?
Yeah.
We both think 110%.
Oh yeah, without doubt.
Yeah. Like, you've got the theory, obviously, aliens help build the pyramids,
Hmm.
and also they're the ones who taught that civilization astrology, essentially.
Yeah.
Like, they had to learn it from somewhere, is what I'm saying. Like, there's no way they kind of just looked at the stars and then just decided all this without any kind of technology. They had to be taught it.
Well, also what you've got to think is this understanding is a collective understanding.
Mhm.
It's not just one random group of people.
Yeah, it's all
So
scattered
you're
all
telling
over.
me all the way back then, the whole world without any sort of phones, social media, like they could send a letter but by pigeon and it would take it like what, 100 miles max away? Like
Yeah.
you're not going from one side of the world to the other side, but they all seem to come up with this collective understanding that the world and the stars work the same way. Like I don't
Yeah.
know.
It's the pictures as well, though. Like when you look at like the tapestries and stuff like that, it's
Yeah.
like there's drones in pretty much every culture of things coming from the sky.
Yeah.
Like,
Also they've got like um giants. And do you know what? Actually, I'm going to go back on what I've just said before. Is in some of the drawings, I don't know if you've seen this, but they've got things that look like phones,
look like what?
like a phone.
Oh, like these.
Yeah, like a
Yeah,
smartphone, like an actual like one of these smartphones, not like a Nokia.
yeah.
How?
It's
Like,
it's
we're being
meant,
pranked.
literally. That's why I honestly believe that there's a lost civilization that was so like I think there was a civilization that was more advanced than us.
Yeah.
Like, very bold statement again. I've realised I've made quite a few bold statements in this episode so far.
Sorry, I
Um,
think I've made more than you. Okay, really
yeah.
cold.
So I definitely think that the other beings help teach and build, obviously, these landmarks.
Yeah,
And I think they're the ones who kind of brought the technology here and kind of built Atlantis. Because to this day, I'm adamant this was a real place that was so advanced, and I think Atlantis was more advanced than we can comprehend.
yeah,
And I think because of how far in advance we are now, I don't think a lot of people like to think that there was a civilization here before us that knew more than us, if that makes sense.
yeah,
And I'm a strong believer that there was, but
yeah. No, me
because of whatever's happened, has wiped them out,
too. Mhm.
along with everything else. But it's just we had that some of the drones that play it were done for Atlantis. Like if you do like the Google Earths and stuff like that, you can kind of see the shapes and everything like that.
I've
And
never seen it before. I'm,
yeah,
I'm gonna have to look into this tonight because
honestly, when it comes to that sort of stuff, like I'll spend like 6 hours once I get into it and just like I like honing on it. Like I'll be on YouTube watching stupid videos and dig deep, and I'll
that's,
go through like a lot of shit, like where I just kind of get myself into a hole,
I tell
and
you,
then
you need this is streaming service called Gaia, spelled Giai, and it's basically like
do you know that's a goddess?
yes, of the
No, the
world.
the Earth.
Yeah, the
Do you know where I learned that?
where what you
In the
boots?
in the books.
Unreal.
It's literally all about her.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
I think honestly it's so interesting. But there's this streaming service, and they've got like it's basically loads of like documentaries or sort of like animations of like astrology, dinosaurs, space. They've got like interviews with people who used to be part of like MI5 and stuff like that, talking about all these like different underground bunkers and like the alien sort of things that they're finding there and like going on different missions to different places. Honestly, crazy. I recommend. I think it's like a subscription service,
Yeah.
but honestly, if you're gonna watch anything, watch stuff on Gaia over like Netflix or Disney because you're actually gonna learn something.
Yeah.
Because they've got stuff
I'll have
on
a look
like
at that.
Egypt and like all the underground tunnels that they used to have in like places like India and stuff like that. So honestly, so good.
Yeah. No, I'll definitely have to look at that because I'm a massive like freak when it comes to stuff like can't remember if you remember the TV series that used to be on History, but Ancient Egypt.
Yes.
I used to watch like I binge watched all them a few years ago, just like back to back episodes. I
So
was up
good.
until like 3, 4 o'clock in the morning.
So good.
Yeah,
See.
so good. I love watching that sort of documentaries and like I've mentioned them a few times, or like the Mayan documentaries and stuff like that. It's
Yeah.
just yeah, I think I definitely have to go and see that because there's just this massive urge that I've always been interested and always wanted to see it.
Uh-huh.
So it's quite interesting that you mentioned that earlier on in the episode.
Yeah,
So
it is.
definitely something that I'll have to do. I think all the seven wonders of the world, to be fair, because they're all amazing. Even the Great Wall of China.
Yeah.
Yeah, that still fascinates me as well.
Well, how they built it.
Yeah,
What the
yeah.
hell?
Because it's like the longest man-made monument in the world, isn't it? It's the
Yeah.
only one you can see from space.
Is it?
Mm.
I didn't realise that.
Apparently, anyways. I've never
Surely
been to
there's some
space, so I
like
can't confirm.
surely there's some like holiday tour thing that you can like pay to go on and like you literally just go from like one place to the other.
That would be nuts if there is, and if there's not, that's a
Listen,
business idea right there.
I copyright that business idea.
Definitely get a patent on that. Trademark that idea, definitely.
Seven Wonders of the World, the tour.
Yeah,
That has surely there is. Someone would have thought of that by now.
that'll be spending that though, wouldn't it?
Yeah, but I think it might be cheaper than cause
Doing it individually.
what you could do is you could get like you can buy them plane tickets and it's like you can fly wherever you want for like a year or like you can go around the world but like in a certain order
Hmm.
and it's discounted but it's obviously it's still well expensive but
Yeah, yeah.
you could like do that, and then you can make it cheaper by like staying in hostels. I don't know. I'm
Yeah.
gonna look into this. That's my business opportunity there.
Yes, this is where you become a millionaire.
I really hope that no one's actually thought of that.
The 7 minute
Stay
Astro.
tuned.
Stay tuned. Next episode has been like, when did you
How I became
build this
a
business?
millionaire.
That's a thumbnail right there, isn't it? How to become a millionaire in 2025. That's what I'm going to put as a title.
That's what you should do it. People are like, what the hell?
And there's literally a 30-second clip right at the end of the episode, so they'll be watching the full thing to find out how to become a millionaire in 2025.
Yeah, sorry guys. It's actually just me coming up with an idea, which is now mine. I've copyrighted it.
Yeah.
By
It's
voice.
mad that we went from astrology, star signs, to spirituality, then dragons, and then now talking about business.
I know.
Some episode.
It just happens, doesn't it?
100%. And to sum it up, the final question. Do you think astrology, pyramids, ancient civilizations are all connected by some grand cosmic design, or are we just searching for patterns in human history?
Ooh, that's interesting. Both. I think both
Both.
is the answer, yeah. But in saying that, I don't think anything's repeated twice on purpose. There are similarities, but I don't. If there is some sort of big grand design designed by somebody or something,
Mm-hmm.
or even energies, then I would. The only way that something will be repeated is if people have not learned the lessons the first time round.
Yeah.
Or, for example, I could go through a really awful relationship and go, oh my god, I'm never going through that again. And then 5 months later, I'm in the same situation and still haven't learned from what I've just done. And then I break up with that guy again, and then I'm like, finally, wow, I've actually like learnt my lesson. I've realised what's happened, what's went wrong, what I could have done. And then the next guy who comes along is Prince Charming. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, what I think we're only given things to repeat if we haven't in the lesson the first time round, and unfortunately we have to learn the lesson as a collective, but I don't think it's on us per se, it's on the people in charge or with the power.
Yeah. It's really funny you say that because this is me just putting another bold statement out there. And once again, it's relating to Atlantis. I generally think that, I've already said that, I think someone kind of gave Atlantis the power for this technology.
Mm-hmm.
But I think as humankind, as we already know, we started getting a bit too powerful and being very
Statistical.
dangerous with the technology we were given.
Yeah.
And I think those who did give us the power and the technology then took us away. And then that's why Atlantis is like
Yeah,
a lost civilization.
we're being punished by
Yeah.
whoever was so egotistical that they just ruined it for everybody, basically.
Yeah, like I don't think there was a flood. I think this place Atlantis were basically like becoming like an army essentially, like trying to take over different places, and then whoever the powers to be were
Yeah.
is basically wipe them out. And that's pretty much why there's no sign of them anywhere.
Yeah.
So
Interesting.
I think this is kind of our second like humankind's second quarter, if
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Yeah. That is very
So
interesting.
that's
You
what
know, did you know
that's
before?
my theory.
Um, women were seen as the superior, so to speak. So if you look at Cleopatra,
Mhm.
she everyone looked up to and bowed to Cleopatra, and for a long time, women were very, very powerful. I mean, women, we are literally the portal between the before and the now. Like, we actually have a portal of life inside of us. And men can say, yeah, we'll contribute to it. Obviously, we wouldn't be able to do that if there was no men, right? We need
Yeah.
them. However, we're the ones who actually have to birth said child in
Yeah.
the world. And yeah, we're like, we are, the earth is the Mother Earth.
It's Mother Earth, yeah.
Women,
Gaia.
women are powerful, but over time, men hated that women had the power, which is when this started with the whole um, Christianity, for
Yeah.
example, or
I was,
witchcraft. Women
yeah.
are witches. All women aren't witches. Some women were witches. Some men were also witches. But women were able to. Women were the medicine women.
Yeah.
We were the caregivers. We women are everything. No
Yeah.
offense, I'm not slagging men off. Men are great too.
Hammering us, yeah, like.
But women, like, we basically over time we got pushed so far down that we were like so suppressed that
Mm.
there was just so much masculine energy in the world, and there needs to be a balance.
Yeah.
There can't be too much feminine energy and there can't be too much masculine energy. It needs to be balanced.
Yeah.
Obviously that's very hard to do, but the world that we live in currently, I think we're more in like a masculine, very masculine heavy, very egotistical, very business minded. But I do think actually that's starting to shift a little bit. I think more women are feeling able to speak, or
Yeah.
the men are being knocked down a bit of a peg or two, basically.
Yeah.
Don't know where that came from. I had a point behind that, but I don't remember it anymore.
Yeah. I don't know where that was going.
Sorry.
Nah, I
What
enjoyed
am
it.
I
I
talking
enjoyed
about?
it. You want about Cleopatra, and then it got to modern society after that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll leave it at that one. I don't know where I
Yeah.
was
Cool.
going, but
Cool. I just, with that being said, even like more recent history. So if you look at like the Viking ages and stuff like that, they held women in very high regard. Like
yeah,
this whole thing about women shouldn't go to war and stuff like that. Literally, Vikings, who were probably one of the best conquerors of the world, had like women warriors
yeah,
leading clans and stuff like that, as they were like raiding like Britain and stuff like that. So it's a very modern and a very Christianity thing that's took over the world. That's kind of
yeah. I mean,
shifted the power of women.
if you look at like Marvel movies, for example, now I've got a lot of theories about all the Marvel movies, all the superhero movies. Right, I could talk about these for so long, but there's women superheroes, and they're so badass. So
Yeah, though.
yeah.
That's not what I thought you were going to go with that, to be fair. I had no idea where that was going, but
No, I was gonna delve into Marvel movies, but there's a lot to talk about with that, so I
yeah.
stopped
I
myself.
mean, I'm about like comics and stuff like that. Yeah, I'm actually doing an episode with my cousin on that one. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Well, Marvel.
about
I'll talk a little bit. No, I'm not like going into like actual detail about Marvel and stuff like that because I actually don't really care that much about Marvel.
cool.
But the concepts that happen in the movies, I've made this comment before. Like, how do they think of that? And they don't think of it. It's already there. They're just reusing something that they know is already there and putting it right in front of our faces. Which leads me back to the point that I said earlier.
Yeah, but a lot of the stuff from Marvel movies come from the comics. So do you mean like the people who've done the comics and
Yeah,
already know this stuff?
yeah.
Okay, cool.
Obviously, it could be a figment of the imagination, but
It's a great theory.
there's a lot of stuff that's very, very far fetched.
Yeah.
Levitation, you know,
I don't think that's as far fetched as that's a different topic, right? Yeah,
it's
I'm
so
not going to go
different.
into
That's
that.
why I wasn't really going to get into it because it's honestly you could talk about that for so long.
I think I'm with you. Like when it comes to like, I'm not saying there's superheroes or people with powers on Earth, but I think there's
The
been people
concept,
with certain
yeah,
things. Yeah,
the concept,
like
the spaceship,
speed, like people with like extraordinary speed,
yeah,
strength, all that stuff. 100%.
yeah,
Because it's a mad thing just to kind of, oh look at this guy, he can go invisible.
yeah.
look at this guy, you can just turn yourself into ice. Like, yeah, I get what you're saying with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think similar. I thought you meant like the full plot.
Oh no, I really don't know that much about Marvel to be able to
Yeah,
discuss that or
but
discuss
when
that.
I'm a proper like comic book nerd, so I was like just thinking about some of the stories. I was like, there's no way that's actually happened.
Oh no, you could tell us a story about wow, no way.
Yeah, no, I get what you mean. Like, as in regard to like the powers and stuff like that. Then
Yeah.
yeah, 100%.
Uh-huh.
So, going back to the first question, did ancient civilization know something about the universe that we have now lost over time?
Yes.
Yes, that's my answer
100%.
too.
100%.
And we'll end the
Yeah.
episode on that.
Because otherwise
So,
I'll go to another tangent about something that really
tangent.
isn't related.
We'll get another part in about all the stuff that we missed. But yeah, for the audience at home, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you're on YouTube, and if you're listening on a streaming platform like Spotify or Apple Podcast, just drop us a follow and a 5-star review. And I shall catch you in the next episode. And thank you for coming on, Katie.
No problem. Thanks for having me.